Hi there, I've come out to some pasture. I've also come out without a battery in my audio box. So I will go back to the car at some point and get it, but hopefully you can hear me until it's not that windy, amazingly. Not at the moment. The wind is getting up. I think I'm going to see if I can get an ounce of juice out of this, because I don't think you'll hear me otherwise. I think it's an arrowhead, or it's too small to be a spearhead. I mean, it was very, very deep, and there might have been, you know, I'm still digging bits and pieces which are on the cusp, but I think that is possibly a Roman arrowhead, or maybe even earlier. It's definitely iron. But rather wonderful, I've got to say. So that's brilliant. I think it's the first bit of iron I've been really happy to dig ever. Anyway, I hope we're going to have a very informative day getting me on what I need to understand about this machine, and I'm looking forward to it. Hi there and welcome to headquarters. My God, I'm so sorry for the wind noise in that opening bit. There's one very small other bit which comes up a bit later, but I'm going to subtitle it and put some music to it. But it does go to show how brilliant this little microphone is. I mean, I've got it attached to something called a Tascam, which just records the audio, and I sync it in later. It just makes such a difference. And even though it didn't feel that windy, because the wind was blowing directly at the camera, it was just appalling. That little camera, it's a little Sony. It's brilliant visually, but it doesn't work very well. The audio is terrible. And anyway, God, we had such a fun day up there. I didn't do quite as much filming of Catherine and I comparing signals as I wanted to, because she was miles away most of the time and digging loads of stuff. But it's very tricky, that field. There's signals everywhere. It's just trying to find the good ones amongst it. One good thing about still digging a bit of iron with that machine, even though I'm digging a lot less now, is that I found this. And lots of people do ask me, why don't you dig iron? I mean, mainly people who don't metal detect. And there are several people who I've also met who say I always dig iron because I like seeing what it is. Now that's completely fair enough. And if you do always dig iron, you'll dig up things like this. This is wonderful. But as most of you will know, the reason that we don't dig up iron, which is everywhere because it's been used for millennia, and it splinters and goes into all sorts of little bits, and you just hear that constant digger, digger, digger. The reason we don't dig iron is because the percentage chance of finding something good that's iron is very, very limited. You might say the same about copper and bronze. I mean, the percentage chance is still quite limited because it's going to be a rifle round, it's going to be a cartridge, it's going to be a horrible little bit of copper of sorts. I wouldn't like to put a figure on exactly what amount of the things we find is good or not, but it's a very small percent, as you all know. But anyway, back to this quickly. I mean, thank God I did dig it because it's wonderful, and I've never dug one before. And I think I've just put it on the detecting hub. I'm waiting for a reply and being impatient. I might tell you later what they say because we do come back here. The ones I've seen on the Portable Antiquities scheme, and I'll put them up now, of what they call arrowheads, medieval arrowheads, seem to be slightly smaller, and the spearheads, which go a little bit earlier, seem to be slightly bigger. So I'm not sure at the moment which one this is, but I'm absolutely thrilled with it. And it just goes to show, I mean, this is a I hate the word bucket list. This was on my to-do list to find one of these, and I've done it now. And I'm absolutely thrilled. It's wonderful, lovely little bit of iron. I mean, just a really sculptural piece. Anyway, as I said, please forgive the bits of wind noise here and there. I do get this up and running, and it makes a hell of a difference. And I'll do my best meanwhile. And thank you very much for listening, and let's go back to the fields. Well, this is a jolly nice sound here, got to say. Don't know how deep it is, but it's given me a nice squeak. little tiny bit of iron. But I think you'll agree that's really diggy. The sound might go at any minute, but I'll run and get the battery as soon as the car's about 10 minutes away, so I don't want to go. Lovely. If you know me from these videos, there's a lot of ring pulls and a lot of modern coinage in this area. And half my trouble was knowing, I mean, I'd learned with the Deus I to avoid the shallow targets. It's a bit harder with this if you... Well, that sounds a bit leady, I'm afraid, but just there. Yeah, I thought so. Just an old piece of lead. Don't think there's much on that, but that's got a lot of age to it. It's always a good sign. Can't not dig this stuff. Right, I've just laid down my first marker. She's all the way over there at the moment. Half of me wants to leave this for Kath. Because I want to know what her settings would think of it. I'm still running reactivity at 2.5 because I like it. Probably won't go as deep, but I don't mind listening out for the wispy ones. I can't resist it. I'll leave her the next one. And I've just found something really cool I can show you anyway if it's no good. Well, unless it's on the end there, I don't think it is. I've completely lost it. I don't think it was that shallow. Maybe it was. It's been doing this a little bit. Maybe it's just been dislodged. Now that's quite unusual. Well, it seems to be just there, doesn't it? God, this is quite an unusual signal, that. Wow, well, I don't know what's going on here. It's not very deep. It's obviously very, very small. But it's absolutely minute. I don't even know what it is. It's a tiny little stud. My God. Look, that's what it was. I thought that was... See, I thought that was deep. In fact, it wasn't deep, it was just tiny. And with all that digging, I completely forgot to show you this. Now look, I have found a few of these up here. And I think the fact that the ground never gets turned over means they were always in such good condition. Look, it's got its pin and it's got its buckle plate and everything. Now I reckon that's typically sort of 1200, 1350, something like that. It's just a really, really nice one. I'm really pleased with that. Really good looking medieval buckle. Well, I hope you can hear me. This is really wispy. I'm not going to plug you in because I can hardly hear it myself, and I wanted Kath to come over and have a look. All my markers are down already, so I'm just going to dig it. It's just, whatever it is, it's deep, deep, deep. And probably iron. But it's giving me a little bit of a tiny whisper all the way round. And it's still there, but I think it's iron. I'm still not quite... This is why Kath's here. Help me with the iron. Well, it's 12... It's 11, 12 inches and still going down. Well, we're out. Now it's giving a signal, I'll show you. Plug you in for the last bit of juice I have on this. Here we go. Get that in. Well, that is not very big sounding, and it was, as I said, 13-14 inches. And it's a tiny little loop. I mean, they could be brooches and stuff, these things. I've found several recently in former videos, which have turned out to be quite nice annular brooches because they still got the pin in them. But I mean, it's not, you can't really say with that with 100% certainty, but it was a hell of a long way down. And I could hardly hear it. Right, we flagged up a few things and we're going to go over them now. It's mainly, I'm using my crappy old settings, Kath's using her tried and trusted settings. So I'm going to say what I think, and then Kath's going to hopefully put me right. So as you can hear, it's pretty faint, but very obvious at the same time. It goes all the way around, it's obviously quite deep. It's, you know, I've got earbuds in as well, so I can hear the fainter sounds. I'm running on reactivity 2.5. Kath, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you? Okay, so that's a much stronger.
You hear it?
Yep.
It's sounding more broken now, and I
maybe because I had my spade in it.
The second one. That's sounding much more broken.
Do you not like it?
Oh no, hold on. I would still dig that, but it is 50-50.
See, that's a much louder, much stronger signal. But mine is giving me no doubt as whether to dig or not. I'm not getting any iron in it at all. It's just a signal.
Yeah, I have to say, a minute ago, and I don't know whether it's because I'm near your detector, it was a lot clearer. I would definitely dig that.
Try now. And also, I always find it changes once you shove the spade in.
Yeah, it's sounding gorgeous there. That's really clear.
It's your settings are definitely much stronger.
Yeah.
Well, what are you running?
I'm running sensitive funnel tones, just with the activity down. I don't think I've made any other changes.
Right, you're going to... Can you just tell me exactly where it is? Yeah, okay, got it.
Exactly.
Yep. We've found a few things. Neither of us have. We've found deep targets, which are non-ferrous, but nothing spectacular yet. A couple of nice buckles and a hoop.
Some of your buckles, most people would be very happy.
Yeah, I know that's that. And well, you're still in there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
If that isn't something good, I'd be very surprised. And that
Well,
might be copper.
It might just be a bit of lead, but the thing is, it's there. It's.
Is that it? No. A bit more on that side.
Okay.
Oh, see that?
Bang. Deep.
7 or 8 inches there.
Yeah, easily, I would have thought.
The pinpoint is 9 and
Yeah.
5 6s, so.
Right, we're out. What does it sound like now?
Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
That's copper. If that isn't copper, I'll be very surprised.
Hey, look, it's another strap end. See, it's a pity it's not got the buckle in it.
Can I bring it over?
Yep. A bit closer. So, I mean, there's a lot of that here.
So should we see how deep that was?
Yeah, I reckon it was.
So that is
Yeah.
a good 9-10 inches.
And actually, that would have been perfectly nice bit of.
Yeah.
So the thing is, it's not the grandest thing in the world, but it's perfectly nice, and these machines are finding it at that depth.
Right.
Little bits of copper.
And we found a few things now at that depth, so
I think this is this machine's forte is
yeah, deep copper.
deep copper,
Yeah.
deep thin copper.
Yeah.
Right, let's go and get the other one.
which I think's rubbish.
Which Kath thinks is rubbish. You heard that first.
Sounds awful.
Okay.
That's a bit better now, to be fair.
It's not iron though, is it? So what is it?
I think it is iron.
Do you? Okay, how interesting. Well, look, let me get mine. I thought I'd lost it, but maybe... Yeah, there it is. That's right. I'm wondering whether that's two signals and the iron's near it. Either way.
You're going to dig it?
We're going to dig it.
Still in there?
Can you hear that? It's about 6 inches. Oh, it's not in the first top.
If it's something really good now, I'm going to be really upset. Because I wouldn't have done that.
This one? All this flint makes me think this could sort of be a road of sorts. It's not flint everywhere.
It's
Well, what's it sound like now?
That's pretty good now.
It's not iron. It's a bit of lead.
Is it? But I should have recognised that was lead. Whereas
Well, the fact is, it sounds like it could be. That could be a Roman coin all day long.
So it's iron too.
I think there's iron all over the place. Yeah, I've got Kath digging in one of. I thought it sounded foily.
Might be.
What is it? Is it in or is it out?
Out.
Oh, that's not the greatest sign if it's out. Kath said it was definitely on the foily side too, but it was giving on her settings. It was perhaps a little bit more copper. It's not a ring pull, is it?
Probably will be now.
Well, I don't think it was giving enough punch for it. Is it in there?
It's out here. Got it? Yeah, it's a bit of
Lead.
copper.
What is it?
It's one of those
Oh, look.
mounts, felt mount
It's
things.
a bit of, yeah. Well, that's exactly, that's what it sounded like, isn't it? There you go. Not too deep,
Yeah.
but that's why this machine is very good.
Yeah.
It picks out little bits of copper, so if you want to find jettons and strap ends and stuff.
It's actually nice. To be fair, this one I thought was very dodgy, but you wanted some dodgy
Hang on.
ones.
Yeah, I do want dodgy ones.
No, I would actually, I don't even know if I think that.
Well,
No, forget it. I
No.
came in at a certain angle and that sounded quite nice.
well, I think I'm not going to get my one out, only because I could hear it, but only because you'd pointed it.
Yeah.
And to me, there was,
See what I mean though?
I think I would do that.
It sounds very deep. It's just there.
Yeah. With my reactivity being as high as it is. See the
My
thing.
reactivity's on 2.5 as well.
Are you?
Yeah.
So why is it? So what are your settings giving you? Which mine?
It's because you've got minus 6.8 minus 6.4.
Well, I'll change my. Wait, have a.
Mine's on 6.8. Positive.
Okay. Well, this is a very good.
So it's still there. It's squeaky. It's probably rubbish. But
Let me have a listen now.
It sounds very dodgy.
See, I can hear that better now. I'm gonna just change my reactivity to plus 6.4.
So your discrimination.
Not reactivity, discrimination rather.
Yeah.
And see, because
0.6.8.
one of the things I am doing is keeping my discrimination very, very, very low, and apparently that's not particularly good. So I'm going to whack it right back up again, and I keep it that way because I like hearing the iron. But right, it's at 6 now.
See if it makes a difference.
Yeah, it's
Yeah?
cleaner.
You're hearing too much ground. The ground's taking up too much of your.
Sorry, it's rather a technical video, this, but it's because I don't really care what we find. Kath's sorting me out.
I care what we find. I want a Saxon coin pink.
No, so I'm going to lower the discrimination again to what I have it at.
Pick these up.
Not a huge amount of difference.
Is it not?
Not a huge amount.
Let's try digging the darn thing out. and
Let's
see
dig
if
it. Sorry,
it's
yeah. The thing is, we just don't want to be fooled by iron.
Yeah.
Not making that much odds actually. Now it might have done when it was in there. Yeah. I think it's still in there. Quite deep.
It should be out.
I will try not to put my bottom to the camera when I'm doing that section. Tip from the top if you're filming yourself. Do you want to check it first? Hang on.
No, I'll let you do it.
But it's doing that thing that iron does, doesn't it?
It's iron, is it?
Giving it's iron, but it's not obvious iron. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that I don't mind so much if that.
But look at
You
the
did say that was not a percentage chance of it.
It was dodgy.
Yeah. Well, we're not having the best time of it. We're digging lots of stuff, which is the important thing, which is things I haven't. But I know that's rather sweet.
A sharp pin on it.
That is
nice
gonna,
decoration.
yeah.
It's a beautiful condition.
And what things are up here? So that was very coppery sounding.
Much better than a
We
Roman.
both decided to, and better. It's not better than a Roman.
He said
Rats!
Roman. I'm going.
I thought it was a Roman coin. Well, that's good. Well done. Well, it's been hard work, I've got to say. There's still stuff here, and it's been brilliant. But I've just found now this sounded quite foily and a bit soft, and I have found a couple of these before, but not of this size. And if you know me from these videos, you know I get excited about these. It's a boy bishop token, but it's not one of the penny ones. It's one of the half groat ones. Or is it a full groat? This camera might fall over at any time, I'm afraid. It's got really, really windy. Kath and I aren't recording that much. We're just whizzing around seeing what we can find now. It's been really interesting though, having someone to show me a little bit, mainly advising on iron. And I am digging a lot of stuff which I shouldn't be digging, and she showed me why. And it's been brilliant. But that's absolutely fabulous. You've got the bishop on one side, and you've got the sort of reproduction of the coin itself on the reverse, and it's just absolutely brilliant. I won't bore you with these now. I've done lots of videos about boy bishop tokens. They were a medieval cult of the boy bishop. We won't go back to headquarters, but they're just really lovely finds. So that's really made it for me. Well, Kath's very kindly recording. I'm just going to put my speaker on quickly. And I've gone down what must be 15 it must be 15 inches. I would have thought easily a foot. It didn't sound irony at all. It just sounded very. Kath thinks it might be Saxon or medieval. We're not quite sure what's going on or which way round it goes, but it's a monster bit of copper or copper alloy, and really rather wonderful. I mean, we don't often find big bits of anything. Not really sure why we don't find big bits of anything, but anyhow, is that the?
Yeah, no, I've got. Yeah,
thanks, Kath. It's just, it's cast, isn't it? But it's, I mean, it might be. It's crude enough in areas to be early. I'm absolutely thrilled. God knows what it is. It's like holding a fish. You hold it like that to make it look bigger when you've got a fish. Hi there, and welcome back. Well, we sort of came good in the end there, especially in finding this and that boy bishop token, which is here, which we'll just have a quick look at in a minute. This is just one of those things that I get really excited about and doesn't turn out to be probably quite as interesting as one might think to start off with. But I just think it was sort of crude enough. So I got back and I took some photographs and sent them to Kath, who sent them on to someone else. And they were a bit confused by it as well. I then did put it on the detecting hub, and a couple of the usual suspects got it pretty quickly, and it's really, really cool. It's part of and I'll show you now. Show you what I put up, and it's and as you can see here, and it's a medieval dagger guard of a Quillen dagger. Now that doesn't mean an awful lot to me, but it does date to about 1200 to 1400. That's often the general date line that the Portable Antiquities scheme gives, and it's a little bit of a cop out, 200-year period, but it does mean that it is proper medieval. I'm not sure how it works. Kath did then, once we'd been given a clue, point me to this. And here are a few very similar ones, including this one here. Now, I suspect, therefore, I mean, my gut feeling in the research I've done is the blade goes through there somehow, through that square section, and this would have acted like as a guard to your hand for your dagger. So it would have gone there like that, and that would have obviously been doubled on that side, and would have gone on probably to have a little sort of rosette or something in that hole and that hole there. And this would have just been a bit of a loop to stop your hand from slipping down the blade, presumably, so to protect your hand and to stop your hand from slipping. So, I mean, I've never found anything like that before. It's really exciting when we find big bits of metal. I mean, generally speaking, and my desk is an absolute disgrace at the moment, there's just so much rubbish all over the place, but we do find small bits. I often wonder why we don't find sort of bigger bits of metal, and I presume they get smashed up by the plough. They go even deeper, who knows? But to find a really, really stonking bit like that was just absolutely wonderful. Apart from the fact that it's missing a bit here and there. I mean, it's in really, really good condition. Early medieval. Well, not early medieval, because by early medieval we mean sort of Saxon and pre-sort of Norman, generally, I think. But it is a nice 13th, 14th century piece of proper bronze, and I'm thrilled with it. And then just before that, the Boy Bishop token. So as I said, we found enough really nice things that day, and that medieval buckle too. Now, Boy Bishop tokens, I've talked a lot about Boy Bishop tokens because I'm crazy about them, and I'm really lucky to sometimes be searching in areas where they do get found. They do tend to be concentrated, even though the cult of the Boy Bishop was associated with the whole of the country, or the whole of England. They do seem to be centred in East Anglia. That's where the majority are found. To cut a story short, from the sort of 13th century to the 16th century, the Catholic Church elected one of the children of the choir or one of the children of the congregation to be a bishop for the period of St. Nicholas Day, which I think is the 6th of December to the 28th of December, and he would perform sort of bishoply duties. Apparently he could even say certain things like Vespers and Matins. And these were made to commemorate that, these little tokens, in 3 different sizes. I've got them all here. I've only ever found one of this size before. But generally speaking, they come in penny size, these little ones here. And then I think these ones, these ones are sort of half groats. And culminating in a groat there, and there's one I found earlier. I haven't got all the mud off this lead one, mainly because, as you know, with lead objects, they're funny. The cleaner they are, the less definition you get out of them. But anyway, so that's the penny, which was to look very like a sort of penny of the time. There's the sort of half groat, I think, and this one is a groat. Now, come the 16th century and the Reformation and all the rest of it, Catholic traditions like the Boy Bishop did seem to lose favour, and they sort of disappeared fairly quickly. But this is just a really good one. It's such a lovely, lovely part of our country's history, these Boy Bishop tokens. Now we go back to the field very quickly. Kath, if you're on the Detecting Hub, who is one of the leaders of the Detecting Hub, she started it with two friends, is famous for being particularly unfond of anything Roman, to the extent that I think in the former life she was a Carthaginian slave girl, and her hatred of anything Roman stems from that. But we do find something which I think really cheered her up right at the end. And it was a brilliant day, and I learned an awful lot. And I think the main thing I took away was the fact that a lot of the irony, buzzy things that I probably should be avoiding. Generally speaking, if you think it's iron, or you've got an inkling it's iron, it usually is. But I have also learned with that machine that if you are getting just a low buzz, I've found some really cool things at depth when I'm getting just a very low buzz, not an irony buzz, but just a low hum. That often is something lead or something very small in silver at some sort of depth, and it's the most wonderful feeling once you've dug in, 1.5 foot of stuff, and you've got the earth out, and your low your very low buzzy sound, which is just on the edge of iron, turns out suddenly to be ding, 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 ding. And you think, my God, that was, you know, a foot and a half down. I've dug that up, and it's a little Roman coin or something, or it's a little, or it could even be one of these boy bishop tokens. So it's a fascinating machine. And the main thing, as I said with Kath, I took away was, if it feels like iron, then it probably is. It's up to you whether you dig it or not. And I'm still digging it because I'm still learning. So let's get back to the fields quickly and watch her sheer what's the word I'm looking for? Happiness in finding her last target. And thank you very much for listening, and let's get back. Having said that, I've just found a George VI sixpence. Have you? Look, she's found a Roman coin. Kath must be so pleased. Never seen her so happy. Gosh, Kath, well done.
Another rubbish Roman coin. Wow.
It is a Roman coin. Well done, Kath. Of all the ones I find up here.
That's tiny, and that's
I know. Well done.
good signal.
Yeah, it's a grotty little. Do you know? It's just your luck.
But that's all I ever found.
I know. I've never found.